Mr. Todd Cordy.
Thank you, Parag, and thank you, Miss Irene. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to the first session for Minggu Belajar Bersama dengan MTA for the preschool group. So thank you, preschool teachers, for joining me today. Today, as you know, our topic is talking about phonics, and we're looking at the first stages of phonics. And then next month in August, we're looking at the more difficult parts of teaching phonics. So today is the simple sounds. So that's single consonants and short vowels. But before we do that, let's get started with a little icebreaker activity. Okay. This activity is called a letter hunt, and I'm going to say a letter or make a sound, and you have to show me something that begins with that letter. So for example, if I say, you can hold up your mask, for example. So I will say a sound, and I want you to hold up something in your screen that starts with that letter. Okay? So let's try. The first sound is P, P, letter P. Can you show me something that starts with letter P? Great, thank you, Miss Diana. I can see a pen there. Miss Dominica, I can see paper. Great, Miss Hema, a pen, fantastic. Well done. Okay, next, the next letter is S. S. Do you have something that starts with S that you can hold up in front of the screen? Oh, fantastic. I can see Miss Yenna. It's a stapler. Excellent. Very good job. Yes, I can see someone with scissors there. Thank you. What else can we see? We've got scissors. We've got a stapler. Thank you, Miss Seriani. Spoon. Thank you. With the help of your child running to the kitchen. Thank you very much to get a spoon. Yes, working together is helpful. And we'll do one more. Does anyone have something that starts with W? W. Letter W. Anything that starts with W. Let me see. Can I see anybody with W? Oh, somebody was showing me their watch. Very good. Yep. Oh, water bottle. Fantastic. Watch, water bottle. Wet tissues. Yes, tisu basah, wet tissues. You could do that as well. Very good. Okay. Maybe we'll do one more. How about the letter B? B. B for banana. Does anyone have something that starts with B? B. Oh, a ball. Excellent. Thank you. I can't see your name, but thank you very much. I can see a ball. Great. A bag. Thank you very much, Miss Henry. Anybody else? B. What's this one here? Yes. It looks like a book. Yes, a book. Great. Fantastic. A bottle. Yes, very good. Great. We've got a book. Lots of books there. Fantastic. Thank you so much. So again, today, at some stages, I will ask you to answer some questions and we'll have a discussion together. But let's get started first with teaching phonics. So what is the purpose of teaching phonics? As we know, the purpose of teaching phonics is to start them how to read and write. Yep, that's the purpose of phonics. Introduction to the alphabet. What sounds do the letters make and how do we write them? So today we're looking at basically stage 1 and 2. That's what we're looking at today. Next time we'll look at 2 and 3 next in August. So what is phonics? Would anybody like to tell me what is phonics? You can raise your hand using the using the Zoom function. You can raise your hand. Anybody would like to tell me what phonics is? And
Yes.
if I don't have a volunteer, I'll choose someone.
Okay.
Sorry, is that Prak there? Yes?
Yes, Mr. Todd. So,
Great.
educators, you can use raise hand feature. So, Mr. Todd or me can choose by the raise hand. You can use the raise hand in the participants column. Okay? Or anyone want to try what phonics that Mr. Todd want?
Yeah. In general, what is phonics?
Okay,
Would
there
anyone
is
like to answer?
Miss Esther Christiningrum, Mr. Top.
Okay, great.
So ada
Great.
Miss Esther and okay, you can unmute your microphone, Miss Esther.
Phonics
okay.
is the learning of sounds.
Good. Yes. Sounds and
Sounds and letters.
yes. Great. Fantastic. Thank you very much. That's exactly it. We're looking at the what we call the sound and its relationship to the grapheme. Now, in English and Indonesian, we call these letters. But if you are also teaching Mandarin, a grapheme would be a character. If you're teaching Thai or something else, then there's not always the same letters or symbols. So it's the relationship of how letters make words and make sounds. So we all know phonics, yes? Great. So let's read this together, shall we, everybody? Okay. 1, 2, 3. Let's read this. Oh, hang on. Ooh. Do you know how to read this? Miss Puji. Hello, Miss Puji. Are you there? I'm going to unmute you. Miss Puji, hello. Good afternoon. And can you read this for me, please?
How?
Yes, exactly. And so why can't you read this? This is what English or even Indonesian looks like to a child. It just looks like a mix of symbols. So why
I have no idea.
Yeah, because you don't know the sound each of those symbols makes, correct? Which is the purpose of phonics. What about this one? Can you also read this, Miss Puji? No, that's okay. It's okay because it's Russian. It's not using our same alphabet. So again, remember that this is what the alphabet looks like to very young learners. It's a mystery. So the purpose of phonics is to map, we call, or matching the sounds to the letters. Once they can do this, then it helps students decode new words. That means they can read aloud, going k, at, cat. That's called blending and segmenting. And we use it for spelling, reading, and writing. Now, why is it important to teach phonics, especially to learners of English? Here are some examples of how English is a little bit crazy in terms of spelling and sound. Yes? Miss Hema, before you raise your hand, but I can call on you now again for this question. What can we see on the screen at the moment? We can see some examples of English. What am I trying to show you, do you think?
Basically, same sounds, but it has, it comes in different form of an object. So different meaning, but it has the same sound.
Yes, because English has irregular spelling. Sometimes, as we have here, 5, and usually we teach our students the word 5 first before the word give. And when they see the word give, they say give because it looks like 5. But of course, English is irregular, so that doesn't always happen. Sometimes we have the same spelling, tear and tear, but we say it differently. But we don't know, we don't know that unless we read the whole sentence. We have silent letters, we have short vowels, long vowels. So English is very irregular when it comes to spelling. That's just because of the history of English. We have adopted words from many different languages, and we haven't changed the original spelling. For example, in Indonesian, if you take a word from another language, like information, you change it to match your spelling rules, informasi. But English doesn't do that. It just says, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And we don't change the original spelling. So that's why English spelling is a bit crazy. So what are some of the purposes? Again, it improves word recognition. That means they can start to sight read and spelling. It improves reading. It's great for children with learning difficulties because they work better with sounds than symbols. It's more effective than no phonics, and it's best when we do it at a young age. So kinder is the time to do it. Now I'm going to also ask some of you to answer these questions and share with the group. What phonics activities have you already done from March to June when we haven't had school? And what are the challenges of teaching phonics to preschool students online? Please raise your hand if you would like to share with the group your responses to one of these questions or both of these questions. It's up to you. If nobody volunteers, then I will choose volunteers. Okay, maybe Miss Rossi, are you there? Miss Rossi Amadita? Miss Rossi, yes, great. Can you tell me what kind of phonics activities you've been doing online?
Well, exactly, it's been 3 months we did online.
Oh, I can't hear you.
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes, I can now.
Yes.
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Okay, so in my school, it's been 3 months we learned about phonics, especially in online learning. And I got something quite hard, which is preschool phonics is quite different with like primary school. So especially for phonics, I guess the phonics goes with sounds, and which is the picture is very similar with the sounds, and it's very important for the preschool. And
yes,
I think for this New Year terms, I did something new for my student, which for preschool, I didn't teach them about the symbol, but most close to the sounds. I think that's all.
Yes, and sound is the first place we can start before symbols. So if that's how you're making it easier for you, then that's good. Yes. Again, we are all learning how to do this together. So there's not necessarily a right or a wrong way. I think we just try until we find a good way, and then hopefully that works. I'm going to show you lots of ideas today as well. So hopefully that will help you as well. Thank you, Ms. Rossi. Who else would like to share? What about Miss Christina Avania? Miss Christina?
Yes, I'm
here.
here.
What kind of phonics activities have you already been doing online, if any? And what are the challenges, perhaps, of teaching phonics online to young children?
Okay. Actually, I'm a new phonics teacher for this academic year.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
You're in the right place.
So I just started the orientation week. What I did with the students are I introduce the letters and the sounds, and I do some icebreaker games like what you did, and then also the Simon Says, like that. And then the challenges are sometimes the internet connections there maybe at their house is not so good, so they couldn't hear my voice clearly. So when I make the letter sounds, they were like, no idea about that.
Yes. And I'm going to show you a way to help with that, which will be something that students can do after the face-to-face time, perhaps with their parents helping them or with their nanny or someone helping them. But I'll show you a platform that you can use to record your voice, show pictures, show videos, and I'll show you that later. So thank you very much, Miss Christina.
Thank you.
Yes, as we have, the problems are internet connection, getting the children focused, making it simple so they can follow, but engaging so they're listening, and not too difficult in terms of technology. So let's take a look at some simple ideas we can use to introduce sounds. Why? Maybe you've seen this quote at the moment. It's talking about Charles Darwin, and he says, it's the way that we adapt that will make us successful. So Some of us maybe are new phonics teachers, but some of us are maybe experienced phonics teachers, but we're all kind of beginning again, yes, to figure out how we can adapt to be effective online teachers. It's really, as we know, it's not the best situation. Online learning is not really designed for kinder. So we'll do the best we can do with some activities, and then we'll discuss. So again, the principles for teaching phonics are the same for face-to-face or online. So the methodology, the theory is the same, but how we do it will be different, because we're doing it online. The first thing we can do is looking at establishing a routine. So that means you have phonics following a same kind of pattern each time you introduce new sounds. You do it the same way. Clear modeling, that means you need to be able to make the sound. Miss Christie said before that with internet problems, it was hard to hear the sound. I'll show you ways to help with that. And also, we need varied practice. Why? Children learn through copying and repeating. The more they do it, the more they will remember. Children do not have very good memories. They forget all the time. And so here we have builds practice and mastery memory. Builds mastery and memory. What does VAK stand for? Does anybody know? This is VAK. Someone could type in the chat box if they want to what they think VAK is.
Visual, audio, and kinesthetic.
Yes, that's it. Fantastic. Thank you for speaking up. Who was that? I didn't see who it was. But thank you for answering the question. It's visual. It's auditory. Of course, we need to see the letters. We need to hear the sounds. And kinesthetic is we need to do something, which means produce the sound and respond to questions. So what do students need to know about the alphabet? What do they need to know about the alphabet? Miss Esther, are you there, Miss Esther?
Yes, sir.
Yes. What do students need to know about the alphabet? What do we need to teach them?
The sounds.
Yes, good. The sound. Yep.
The how to write it.
Good. Yes. That's the basics there. What it sounds like and how to write it. So here, also for advanced levels, we're talking about the maybe take a B. They need to know the name of the letter, what it looks like. So if I say B, they can point to the letter B, the sound it makes, and how to write it. So what it looks like, what its name is, the sound, and how to say it. Yeah, they're the 4 things that they need to know. All of this is in the handout. We'll send you after the session has finished, so you don't need to write anything down. And this is how I think that for phonics online, this is the best. Also in face-to-face, but particularly for online, we follow these 4 steps. Present, drill, check, practice. That is my preferred method. So I would try to use actions as much as possible. Why do we try to use actions? Then I can see which students are paying attention. It's difficult to see what they're doing sometimes, but if they're doing the actions, then I can keep track of what they're doing. And also it's more engaging, more enjoyable. Okay. Now, some of you might be using a course book or an English course book from Mentari or our sister company, Asta, our publishing company. Some books, for example, OWL, sounds great, and First Friends are alphabetical phonics. That means they teach A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I. It goes in order of the alphabet. For example, here, A, B, C, which is what we're looking at today. And here from OWL, it's got S, U, V, S, T, U, V, I think, the letters there. So they're in order. But sometimes other books use a thematic approach. So if you're using Super Safari, that's from Cambridge, that's one of our books as well. Or if you're using Rainbow, from Asta. That means the letters are not in order, but they are presented with the topic. But for today, it doesn't matter which book you are using. If we are introducing simple sounds, we can adapt the same approach. So here we're going to look at ABC. That's the starting point, yeah, ABC. But you can use this for any single consonant sounds and short vowels. So A, E, O, A. The short vowels, we can use the same ideas. Now here in the book, we have listen, point, and repeat. How are we going to transform that to an engaging online activity? How do we do this? So this is, first of all, we might start with a song. You can use a song from the classware. Often in the classware, if you have the iTools or the classware, you might have a song, or we can just use something from YouTube. I'm only going to do ABC because that's the songs we're looking at today. So. So we're stopping there because we're only doing ABC. So first, we can ask students just to listen to the song. Then we can look at the individual letters. So A, ant. And we need then an action for the vocabulary. Why? It's a way to help them remember, but it's a way to get them to pay attention to you. So the teacher does it first, as we see here. A, ant. Okay, everybody, let's do it together. And here, my other words for the unit, I'm going to use those as well. Okay, so let's do this together, everybody. Ready? A, apple. Everybody? Apple. Good. And I can use my mouse to point to what I'm talking about to make it clear. Alligator. Ready? Alligator.
Alligator.
Alligator. And we have our alligator action as well. Apple is alligator. And then we have ant as well from the song. The vocabulary depends on the vocabulary from your book or the vocabulary that you want to teach. Okay, so it's ant. It's simple, straightforward. It's the same as doing it in this book like this, but it's easier to see if you make the pictures bigger, yes? Especially if children are using a small screen to follow the lesson. And then we can start with a short letter song. Everybody knows the song Wheels on the Bus, yes? Wheels on the bus go round and round. So this is the same song. So let's let's listen to me first. But with my students, I'm showing this picture because they cannot read all of this. It's confusing. I'm showing this picture. But first, I'll sing it with showing you the words. Are you ready? Apologies for my bad singing voice. Okay, are you ready? Short letter A goes Short letter A goes like ant, alligator, apple. Okay, can we all sing that together? Let's unmute everybody's microphone so you don't have to only hear my terrible singing. Are you ready? We can share our answers together. So it's short. It's a vowel, so it's short. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Short letter A goes letter A
Goes
ants,
alligator, apple.
put the pictures in the wrong order. That was a bit silly. They need to be in the same order as you want them to sing, yes? Let's try it with B. This time, we don't say short letter, we just say letter B because it's not a vowel. Okay? Book, bear, bird. Book, bear, bird. That's the right order. Letter B goes Excellent. Very good job, everybody. I'm going to mute everyone now.
Like book B.
So it's the same idea here. B, 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 book. Repeat. B, 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 book. B, 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 bear.
Bear.
B, 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 bird. Oh, bird. So you can make the letter with your hands as well to strengthen that, or you can just use your mouse to point to the letter on the screen, whatever you think is more effective, okay? So you introduce B, 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 and then a vocabulary item. So you do this also for your other letter. So C, K, 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 cookie. In phonics, C is always presented as a K sound, even though sometimes it's also a S sound. That's the approach that we typically use. So we start off as C as a K sound. Letter C is the same. Letter C says K, 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 K. Letter C says K, 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 like cookie, cat, cat, meow. Whatever your vocabulary is, you can adapt this song to suit your target words. Okay. So that's the basic first step with introducing a new sound and a letter. We have the sound, letter, and some pictures, and I say B, 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 book. B, 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 bear. B, 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 baby, or whatever my vocabulary is. Now, can you present and drill other phonics patterns in the same way? Yes, if they're single letter sounds, even some digraphs, which we'll do next time, but like f and ch and sh, yeah? We can also use the same idea of sh, 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 shop, sh, 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 ship, whatever our vocabulary is. That's the first stage. It's the presentation stage. So what are some other ways that you could do this? Does anybody have a different way that they present new sounds for the first time? We're going to look at some more activities to practice, but when we present, when we introduce the sound for the first time, what do we need? We need to see the letter, we need to hear the sound, say the sound, and have some words with that sound. That's kind of our minimum that we would want there. Any other ideas? Does anybody have a different way to introduce new sounds? Please feel free to unmute and just share your ideas. This is the most common way. It's the most typical way. We don't need to. I think for the first time when we introduce, always use the same way. Let's have a look at the chat box. People are saying using synthetic phonics, great. So that's more of a reading-based approach. We're looking at storytelling, yes, great. And again, depends on the level of English at your school, how many hours of English you have. This is just one way to do it if you're looking at this kind of presentation phonics? Yes. Okay. Now let's take a look at some activities we can do to practice. So one of the things with phonics is we want to get students to be able to hear if sounds are the same or different. It's a very simple activity. You can even do this with nursery, same or different sound. So I will say two sounds. If the two sounds are the same, everybody does this. If the two sounds are different, I want you to do this. Okay? Same or different. I want you to do this to the screen. Are you ready? B. B. Same or different? I'll say that again. Are you ready? B. B. Same or different? Same. Good. They're both letter B. What about this one? Are you ready? A. K. Same or different? Different. Yes, good. What about this one? Same or different? Different. So you can contrast your sounds to get students to really listen to hear if they are the same or different sounds, especially sounds that sound similar, like p and b, f and v. For the higher levels, that's useful to test them on if they can hear the difference. Another activity we can do is short or long if you're doing vowel sounds. So if I say a vowel sound that is long, I want you to do this with your hands. But if it's short, together, you could do this or this. Long or short. So our long vowels are A, E, I, O, U. And our short vowels are A, E, O, A. Or, A, for you. Okay, so if it's a short vowel, do this. A long vowel, do this. Are you ready? O. O. Is that long or is that short? It's long. O. O. What about this one? E. E. Long or is it short? It's short. Good. Short. It's a short I. E. What about this one? A. A. Long or short? Long. Very good. Very good, everyone. Good. What about this one? Ah. Ah. Long or short? It's short. It's a short U. U is long, but is short. So we can, through these two activities, we can really get students focusing on listening without letters yet, for some of you who are not teaching letters yet, and you can see students reacting on the screen. Okay. Now here, what number is it? I'm going to unmute everybody. Unmute everybody. Okay, great. I am going to say a sound, and you have to tell me and show me which number. 1, 2, or 3. So for example, if I say B, you would say 2. Great. What about K?
3.
3, very good. What about A?
1.
So if students know the numbers, if they don't know the numbers yet in English. And now we want to get them to say the sounds, yes? So now I show the number and you have to say the sound. Are you ready? 2. Good. 3. 2. Great. 1. Like apple. Apple. Good. Excellent. We could also use colors. So I could say red. There's red. Very good.
Red.
What sound is green? Very good. What sound is blue? Very good. So we can combine numbers and colors into this as well to help make it a bit more sense. Okay, I'm going to mute everyone again just for now. Okay, and this time it's an action. So if I say ah, put your hands on your head. If I say b, I want you to wiggle your nose like a little rabbit. Yes? Great. Or C, if I say k, I want you to clap your hands. Okay? So we call this a responsive action. I say a sound and students do something to show me. Are we ready? What's this again? The, k. Okay. Are you ready? Very good. Everyone's clapping their hands. Good. Touch your head. B. I think, yes, I can see behind your mask you are still wiggling your nose. Good. So this can be any action, but for being on video, it needs to be an action that's kind of here. Yeah. So touch your head, wiggle your nose, and clap. Not touch your face. We don't want kids to be touching their face at the moment. So touch their head is okay, wiggle nose, and clap. I think that's okay. You could have touch shoulders. You could have, I don't know, spin your head around, whatever action you think is fun to do. Okay, let's do that again. B. Very good. K. Great. And of course, once they've done that part of it, then I want them to do the opposite. So this time I do the action and you make the sound. Okay? What's this sound? Good. This sound? So they need to have practice both listening and also do the activity both ways. Like we did before.
Dia katanya pertanyaannya apa?
I'm just going to mute everyone. Like we did before with the letters and the sounds, we did both ways. With the actions, we also do it both ways. So students get practice with identifying by listening and also by producing, so saying the sound. Okay. Another activity, if you are doing big and small letters, some people don't do this until primary. Some people do this in kinder. So an activity here could be matching. Okay, everybody, I'm hunting. I'm hunting for my letter A. And what sound does letter A make? It makes ah. Who can see them? Who can see them? What number is it? Johnny, what number is A, the letter A, the big letter? What letter is it, everybody? Can you show me with your hands?
Number 3.
Great, fantastic. Can you show me with your fingers at the screen? Good. And what color is it?
Yellow.
Yellow.
Fantastic. So where's its little baby? Where is the little baby A? Can we find that?
1.
Number 1.
Great. Is it number 1? Fantastic. And what color is that?
Pink.
It's pink.
Very good. Okay, everybody. So look at the screen. Look at the mouse. So it's A, ah. A, ah. Good. And then we repeat the same for B and C. What number is it? What color is it? And then we match it. We can talk about it as the mummy and the baby letter if you want to. That makes a bit more sense. Because for children at capital letters, what are you talking about? It makes no sense. but we could have like the mummy letter A and the baby letter A. That makes a little bit more sense if you're teaching capital letters for the first time. Another one is, we go back to the vocabulary again. I think now they have a good, strong foundation for the sound and what it looks like. So now we're going to reintroduce vocabulary. So everybody, what's this picture? Can you remember what's this? It's a?
Cat.
Cat.
Good. So I'm just going to unmute everybody. We need to have participation here. Great. Okay. Yes, it's a cat. So what sound does cat start with? Good. So we say the word cat, but we stop. So good. So we have a sound. And what does that look like? Does it look like this? Does it look like this? Does it look like this? You show me with your hands. What does it look like? Very good. Does it look like this? Very good. So it's cat. Can you repeat, everyone? Cat. Very good. And put some actions in to get students focused. Now, everybody, what's this? Can you remember what's this?
Apple.
Good, apple. And what sound does apple start with? Remember, we say the word and we stop. Ready? Let's say apple, but stop. Good. But the sound is apple. Can you show me what A looks like? Does it look like this?
No.
Does it look like this?
No.
Does it look like this?
No.
What can you show me? What does it look like? Good. Yes, it could look a bit like backwards. That way, or like that for a capital. Good. Very good job. What color is letter K?
Yes.
Red.
Black. Good job. What about letter A? Letter A. What color is letter A? Very good. Now, oops. What's this, everybody? It's a
book.
What's the first sound of book? Ready? Let's say the word and stop quickly. Excellent. Book. It's try not to be. It's not but it's b. Try to keep that sound short. We have to have some because that is what we call a plosive, which pushes air out of our mouth. But yeah, so it's b. What color is b? The letter B.
Green.
Green, fantastic. So we have actions, we can do the letters, we can do colors. Also, I then have a song, another song. As we know, it's good to teach with songs for this age group. Does everybody know the song London Bridge is Falling Down?
Yes.
Dun, 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 dun. That one? Yeah, great. So this song is, which word begins with A, begins with A, begins with A? Which word begins with A, A, A? Are these pictures on the screen? Apple, good job. So you have the pictures on the screen to help them, and they're pictures you have already taught them the word for. Let's try with this one. It's the same song. Ready? Which word begins with B?
Begins with B. Which word begins with B?
Bird, good. So you have one picture from A, B, C, the letters that you're focusing on. And we'll try it with C. Which word
begins with begins with which word begins with cookies?
Cookie, very good job. So again, it's really important to use the same vocabulary as before for a level learner. Otherwise, this will be a bit confusing. And get them to do the action of the word. They can do the action of the letter. It gets them more involved. again, now we have more letters, and maybe they don't know these letters yet. That's okay. I'm only going to ask questions about ABC. If my lesson was FGH, then I could do all of them and review. But for today, it's just ABC. Okay, everybody, let's look at the screen. And what color is B? What color is B? Can you see it somewhere? B.
Blue.
It's blue. Good job. Thank you. Can you show me B with your hands? Is this B?
No.
Is this B? What does B look like? Can you show me with your hands, please? Is it like this?
Like a full tummy.
Good. Like a full tummy, yes. What about A? A, A. What color is that? It's very good. So can you make the A letter for me? A bit like that. It's not an easy one to make. It's silly. Like that. Yeah, kind of. And what color is K?
Purple.
Fantastic. Can you show me K? Is this K?
No.
Is this K?
No.
Is this K?
No.
Oh, it's
Yeah.
this. Good. Can you show me a pencil? So for this activity, I make sure that my students have color pencils in front of them. So I ask the parents first, and I say a letter, and they have to hold up a pencil of the same color. So this is helpful if they're still learning colors as well. So I say A, and they have to hold up a red pencil. I say B, and they have to hold up a blue pencil. A purple pencil. So you can do that with colors and holding up an object as well if their English is below colors at the moment or very basic English. We could do the letter hunt that we did as our icebreaker. Show me something beginning with K. This is quite useful for maybe Tech a B that already have some vocabulary, but for a beginner level, it's a bit too difficult. But can you do this now, please, everybody? Can you show me something beginning with K? I have a cup. What do you have? Can you show me something that starts with K?
Clock.
Clock? I can. Yes, great. Someone's got a clock.
I have cookie.
Great. Cookie, can you give it to me, please?
Cookie.
You could do an action of cutting, perhaps, or that's ch. That's chin.
Cable.
Anything else? Cable, cake, good. Fantastic. Next,
Cookies.
Can you show me something starting with A? If your name starts with A, you can point to yourself.
Arm.
Arm. Very good. Arm. Good. Annie, yes, you can just point to yourself. If your name starts with A, you can point to yourself. Anything else that starts with A? Good. Okay. What about the next one? B. 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 What do you have that starts with B?
B.
B. B.
Book. Balloon.
We had a book, balloon, ball. Excellent.
Banana.
Belly, banana. Good. Brown eyes, maybe we could have. Great.
Brown skin.
Good. Thank you. So after we have, let me just mute everyone again just for the moment so we're not getting too much feedback. Sorry. Okay. Now, if we look at the next stages of phonological awareness, beyond just one sound, we're looking at a combination of sounds into words. So here, as we see, the first one in the top left blue circle is cat and car. Do you remember before how I did same or different with individual sounds? Now we can do that with individual words that sound similar. Cat, car, same, different. What about this one? Cap, can. Same
Cap.
or cap, can. Same or different? Different, yes? The words cap and can are different. So here we're looking at two words that sound similar. For lower levels, we would change the first sound because the first sound is easier to hear. So for example, cat, mat. Same or different? Different. Yeah, cat and mat are different. But for higher levels, we can change the last sound. It's a bit more challenging. Yeah. Alliteration is asking if two words start with the same sound. Do these words begin with the same sound? This is the question that you would ask your students, and you say two words. So for example, alligator, apple. Yes or no? Do they begin with the same sound? Alligator and apple? Yes? Yes, good. What about bear and book? Do bear and book start with the same sound? Yes? Yes. What about cookie and apple? Cookie, apple, same or different? Different. So here we can get students to respond just with their body language. Rhyming. Rhyming we'll do more of next time. Blending is what we're going to look at now. Blending and segmentation. Blending and segmentation are what we need for this CVC word that we're looking at. So blending is putting phonemes that sounds together. So here would be h, I, d, hid. Blending is putting things together, and segmenting is breaking them apart. Why do we need to do this? Does anyone know? Why do we need to blend and segment? Miss Rati, would you like to answer the question? Yes. So, Miss Rati, would you like to...
I think it's the beginning to teach them how to read. That's why we learn about the sounds of each letter, and then we continue to blend to put them together.
Yes.
And then we can segmenting, which means that we can part by part, so they can sound it and then they can read it.
Yes, and also this helps with writing, because maybe
Writing,
they know the word cat, and they think, oh, how do I write cat? It's k, ah, t. So by being able to blend and segment, they can read and write. That's the general purpose of those two activities. Great. So let's take a look at some activities that we can use for that. One way to help explain what segmenting is, because it's a bit of a strange idea, is to have the picture and have a circle for each sound. Okay? So cat is k, a, t. So we can do this with finger counting, k, a, t, or clapping, k, a, t, or tapping shoulder, k, a, t. So we are showing them that the word cat has 3 sounds. Sounds don't always mean letters, yes? Let's look at the next word. What is that? What is that second picture? We learned this before, it's a bear. How many letters does bear have? 3? 4.
4.
But the middle 2 vowels blend into a single sound. So here, because we're not using letters yet, we would just also have 3 sound circles. B, e, r, b, e, r. What about fish? If you had the word fish, how could you, how many sounds does that have? Miss Winnie? Yes, Miss Winnie, could you tell us the 3 sounds there, please? Great. Yes, fantastic. ish, because again, SH combines as a one sound. Thank you. Miss Desi, are you there? Miss Desi Ruth? Yes. What about if you have the word chair? Chair. How many sounds does chair have? Yes. Yep. Ch. Has 5 letters, but how many sounds do it have? Let's do it together. Ready? Ch. Air. 3. The A and the I blend, and the C and the H blend. So chair has 3 sounds as well. So I do this first without the letters because the letters are confusing to start with. So it's ch, sorry, it's k, a, t, cat, k, a, t, cat. And we can use our mouse to show on the screen. So it's k, a, t, and then back at the picture, cat, b, e, bear. So we want them to put it back to the full word again. Then, for a higher level, or after they can do the sounds, we put the letters to show them the letters and the sounds as well. So it's k, at, cat, the, bear. For this activity, I try to stay away from these difficult sounds in the first semester. Just single letter sounds like we did before with the CVC. That's the best way to start. This is confusing for TECA A first semester, so don't start with that. Choose your words wisely. Rubber band words. In my real class, face-to-face, I give my students a rubber band and I get them to stretch. And I say, let's stretch it out. Oh, let's bring it together. We can do the same with words. Let's try to stretch out the word ant. Are you ready? Ah. T. Back. Oh, what is it? Ant. Very good. T. Ant. Very good. So we use the words from before as well. B, d, bird. K, t, cat. I do this first so they can see it visually, and then I get them to do the activity where they're stretching. Kids don't always need to know exactly why they're doing something. They'll often just copy the teacher. So don't explain too much about why we're doing this, especially to TECA A level students. So let's check with what we've done so far today. Let's take a look. I'm going to unmute everyone. Okay, so have we looked at the name of the letter ABC? We do activities for that? Yes. Did we look at the letter, what it looks like?
Yes.
Did we listen to and make the sound of the letter?
Yes.
Good. Did we look at how to write it yet?
No.
No, we haven't done that activity. So we've done the first 3 things, but now we're going to look at how we can manage to do the 4th, which is probably a bit more challenging online. Okay, so let's take a look here. What kind of writing tasks can we do? So when it comes to writing letters, what activities do you usually do? Miss Winnie, are you there? What kind of activities do you do when you are introducing letters?
Sometimes I do songs. Sometimes I do like pick a, what's a, what we do with A.
And when it comes to them physically writing, what do you do? Tracing? Do you do something else? What do you do?
Yes, tracing is one way, but another way is just like maybe guessing games with tracing with the on their back or on the for sand, but
Yes, great. Yeah, so there's
like
more
this.
to writing, as we know, than just pencil and paper. And thank you. Miss Hannah Taleb, what kind of writing activities have you done with your students in terms of maybe tracing, something different?
The same tracing, but
Okay.
formation is important. Formation of the letter.
Great.
So this-
Yes, great. And there's also ways, the order of the stroke sometimes as well. So let's take a look here at, I'm just going to mute everyone again. Thank you. Before we do pencil to paper, as we know we have some very young students, we can do kinesthetic spelling or kinetic spelling. So we can use our hands as we've been doing before. We can get them to write in the air. We can get them to trace a book like this. If you're using Cambridge Super Safari, it has the letter and the order of the strokes, but they can do this just on their hand. You get them to hold their hand up and they can, okay, write the letter O, O. They can show you on their hand. Some other options are non kind of writing things. So writing letters or words with objects, pencil, paper clips or broken crayons, string, something like this. And then you can ask the parents, if necessary, if you want a photo of it, ask the parent or the nanny or whoever to take a photo and send it to you. Also, we'll talk about later how to display student work online so that other parents and other students can see each other's work. And they can upload the photo, and it's like a corkboard. I'll show it to you a little bit later. Poster books, these are some easy activities to create, but of course, at the moment, the parents would have to print that out, so maybe it's not the easiest thing to do. Basically, the beginning, especially if we're at the very beginning of phonics, it's usually tracing, yes? And here, it's showing you the numbers. If you kind of zoom in a little bit, you can see that it has 1, 2, 3. So it's showing the order of the way to write things. Now, it's not quite like Chinese, where the order is very, very important, but it's good to get them into the habit of writing clearly. As you see here, again, the letter is made up of something that starts with that letter. Some of teachers have asked, well, what are some great apps for learning? For tracing, particularly, there is this app here. It's called ABC Kids Tracing and Phonics, and it works for a touch screen, so it has to be on a phone or a tablet, but they can get practice with tracing. Big letter and small letter. The parents can choose which letters that they want. There's groups of letters like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, plus there's sound for that as well. So the reason I like this one is that there's no ads, and it's the full complete version. It's not, you don't have to pay for anything. And there's also different levels of this app, so you can get one that's then going into reading for young kids. So if parents want extra apps, this is a good one for them. I put the app in the handout as well. So how are you checking your students' work at the moment in general? Are you asking parents to take photos of workbooks, or are you getting students to hold workbooks up to the screen, or what is the general way that you're checking work? Miss Stephanie Hendriati, yes?
Yes, I'm here.
Great, thank you. Good
Yes,
afternoon. How are you?
usually I ask the parents to record the video when the children doing the writing session.
Okay, great. So then the parents will take a photo of their work and send it to you, or a video?
The video, yes, video or photos.
And why do you prefer video?
I prefer video because, well, actually I can see the process instead of the final result.
Yes.
I can see the whole process.
Yes, and you can then easily see if there's a problem, what to provide extra help with, yeah?
Yes.
Great. Excellent, thank you very much.
You're
Uh,
welcome.
what about you, Miss, is it Nasa? Nasa? Yes. How are you asking, or how are you checking student progress and student work?
Yes, same with Miss Stephanie. I also asked the parent to take a video or take some documentation, so the teacher can see the process where they tracing the letter, and then how to handle the pencil properly, and then if there was that wrong with the handling pencil, we can ask the parents to make it right. Make it
Yeah.
right to handling the pencil like that, sir.
Great, thank you. And I
Thank
suppose
you.
that brings up a really key point, is that this kind of thing really relies on parents
Yes.
to help make it work. If without the parents, we couldn't really do any of this, could we?
Yes, of course.
Because kids don't know how to use the Zoom. They know how to play Candy Crush, but they don't know how to use Zoom. Let's take a look at the next idea, because we had, yes. So let's say, for example, you're checking phonics pronunciation. Some teachers have asked, how do I check their pronunciation? Again, this is probably best with a recording. So you give them the list of words. Maybe it's alligator, apple, ant, baby, bear, bird. So the words that you studied, you taught them. And then you want the parents to record a video of the student saying the words. To do this, I think the best way is to record a video of you doing what you want them to do. So you record a short video. Hi, everybody. Please copy Miss Nasa. Okay, so A, apple. A, alligator. A, ant. Obviously slower than that. But if you record a video, then it shows clearly both the parents and the student what you want done. Sometimes we have some problems with communication between parents and teachers, as I'm sure that you've had. A lot of parents asking a lot of questions. If you take 1 minute to do a video, and hopefully it will make your job a bit easier with less questions from the parents. Yeah. Let's take a look now at Neopod. Could you please write in the chat box, yes, if you know what Neopod is, or no, if you've never heard of it before. So just write yes or no. If you've used it, yes. If you haven't, could you type no, just to see if anybody is familiar with Neopod. Yes, I thought so. Typically for preschool, they're not going to be using a lot of different apps. However, I thought I would show it to you because it can be a really great tool for review after class. So not to use at the same time as live classes. It's too confusing to switch between a screen and an app and all of this. But it's something that the parents can help with extra practice. And I'll show you some of the key features here. So let me just go into it. I'll put the link again in the chat box. Let me see. Thank you.
Ya Allah,
thank you,
ini
Putri.
kenapa nomornya 21 ya? 21 kan tanggal lahirnya dia.
Thank you. Thank you, Putri, for putting the link there. So you can log on to that link, or you can just watch my screen for the moment. You can explore it afterwards. The link is valid for about 20 days. So after sometime this week, if you have time, take a look at it and see if it's something that you might want to use. So let me show you some of the please. Great. Okay. So the students just need to, or the parents just need to click on the link. You don't have to have an email address. There's no code or anything. They just need to click on the link. And here I can put the song and the slides and the materials from my lesson so students can look at it afterwards. So with Neopod, you can directly add a YouTube link to play the video, easy, or a video from your book. One of the things that I really like is that you can show a picture and you can record your own voice. So here, listen to what I've done. So if you're worried, somebody said before about the connection, sometimes the internet connection isn't very good and the students can't hear the sound properly. Here, you can record your own voice, or you can use a CD or the audio from the book that you use, and you can put in practice for them to hear the sound again. So we do the same thing for letter B. We show a picture. I would put a picture of the book that I used. And that way students can hear you again and hear it more clearly. So parents can help with helping the students, their children, to say the same sound.
Mr. Todd?
Yes.
But the volume is so small, so we can't hear.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can't hear me.
Yes.
Okay, well that's not very helpful then, is it? Let me see if I can. 1 minute. Can you hear that?
Yeah, quite clear before.
Great. So you can record your voice. You could use your PowerPoint slides from before, because you can directly copy your slides to Neopod and have your voice recording. So you can give them verbal instructions, which is good because they can't read. Yes. So it's a great way to add voice and pictures and video. Also, they have matching activities. So here you have to match the big letter to its small letter. So again, if they get it wrong, they get another chance to answer correctly. So it only lets them progress if they get it right. And they can answer as many times wrong as they want, but it only will continue once they get them all correct. All of this data is then available for the teacher to look at. So at the end, you can see all of the students, how many times it took them, how long it took them. You can also use matching, but with pictures. Yep. So, for example, you can use, there's a drawing function. Now this, I think, if it's not a touch screen, it would be too difficult. Let me show you. So here, for example, we have to draw the letter A. And drawing with a mouse, as you can see, is challenging even for an adult. So I wouldn't recommend this unless the student has a iPad or a phone to do it on. But this function can be good for other things, like drawing vocabulary activities. Yeah, okay. You can do this as a quiz, so you can put in activities from the book you can make on here. So it'd be something like, which letter does this word start with? And you can also, as I said before, record your instructions verbally. So if students can't read the question, which they probably can't, then they can hear you say the question. There is also a kind of competition quiz. Maybe that's more for primary, if some of you are teaching primary. And also another thing you can do is link directly to another web page. So if you find a website that has a phonics game on it, like the one I have here, the British Council, Cambridge, Oxford, they all have websites for young learners now. You can link directly to the site that you want them to look at. Okay, just one more thing. Yes, and finally, we talked about sharing work before. And here, one of the functions is called a notice board. So before, remember when I asked to write letters from different objects, then parents can upload the photo here, and then everybody can look at each other's photos. So it's a kind of interactive whiteboard. You could also do this on something like Google Classroom, upload photos there as well. Yeah. Okay, that's all I want to show you for Neopod, because it might be a bit too challenging for your students perhaps, but I think it's worth taking a look at. Again, you can use the same link for the next 20 days to access my ideas, but there's a lot more functions on there that you might find useful. Okay, so before we move on, let's get some questions here. Sonia, Miss Sonia, are you there? No. Okay. Yes. Okay, Miss Sonia. Yes. Hello. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
Great. What do you think would be maybe a problem with trying to use an app like that with your students?
Maybe for the internet connection, sir. Right now we are using Google Classroom in our school, and sometimes the connection is not okay.
Yes.
For our school it's okay, but for the children, no.
That's the problem. And so with a Neopod lesson, you can send it to them as a student run. So that means they can take as much time as they want, and it's after class. So that's how I would recommend Neopod, really as a homework or as a review tool. In the class, it's probably too difficult to manage, but you could put your slides from your lesson on there so the parents could look. You could take a recording. Tech B second semester, I don't know. I like the idea that I can record my voice and the students can match, and it's up to them in terms of timing. But it may not be appropriate, but I thought I'd just show you anyway. Thank you. Okay, let's continue. Okay. Now, if we are looking at the next stage, so after we've done our single letters and we've done our CVC words, what is the next step? Because CVC words are 3 letters and they're individual sounds. Our next step is blend.
Blending.
Yeah. And we have blending with either a vowel and a consonant or 2 consonants. Okay, so let's take a look at that. Here we have a vowel and a consonant blend with O, og, op, ot, ox. Can we use the same activities from earlier in this session to do this? Remember, what do we need to do first? We need to present and we need to drill. They're our first 2 steps. So yes, it would be a, g, og, a, p, op, a, t, ot, a, x, ox. Remember, this is after they know all of the sounds first. Blends come after single letter sounds. So they should know the letters at this stage. Now again, we can use a page from a book, or we might want to design our own slides like I did before. And then of course, we need to look at the vocabulary. So it's d, og, dog, and we do it in action. Yeah. We could do letters for the kinetic letters for the first sound. So d, og, dog. Op, mop. P, ot, pot. B, ox, box. So blending is always kind of introduced by one similar letter usually. It's the vowel that's the same, and then we have the ending consonant that's different. So what are some other activities that we can do for this? I'll just talk about that in a minute. The other type of blend that we have is a double consonant blend. And this is what is a little bit more challenging, because bull and f, it's a little bit challenging to say, yes, for those young students. So again, we kind of do it the same way. It's the, bull, bull, ack, black. So if you're not using a book like Sounds Great, you can still follow this same idea of put the two sounds b, bull, bull, ack, black, and then the picture. That is a good way to present it if you're taking this approach to phonics. Yeah? We can sing a song. Remember we had the song before? I'll play the song this time, so you don't have to listen to my terrible voice. Hello. So it's O-N-G, og, og, og. O-N-G, og, 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 og. O-N-G, og, 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 like dog, frog, and log. So let's try that together, everybody. I'll unmute everyone's microphone. Okay, are we ready? I'll play the song again.
O-N-G, ok, 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 O-N-G,
Og, like og,
Dog, frog,
So what did we learn from that? One is that you should always sing the song first and have the students just listen. So then the second time they can sing and they know what to do. And you can repeat this song for op, og, op, ot, ox, all of those blend sounds. What about some other activities that we used from today? Could we use this? So I'll go back to the start just to review. So yes, we can present the blend like we did before with the song and with the pictures. What about same or different? Could we do this with a blend? Yes. So I will say a blend, two blends, sorry. If it's the same, do this. If it's different, do this. Okay, are you ready? Og, op. Same or different? Different. Good. Let's try again. Ot, ox. Same or different? Ot, ox. Can you hear? Ot, ox. It's different. Good. Op, op. Same or different? Same or different? Same. Good. So yes, we can do the same activity. What about which number is it? Yes, I could put og, ot, op, and ox in the boxes below. And I could say, okay, which letter is, which number is op? Oh, it's number 3. Ot. Oh, it's number 4. So we can still do the same idea with boxes, number, and the sounds. How many sounds do we generally think is the maximum for one lesson? 4 would be the maximum different sounds. That could be a blend or it could be a first letter. Okay. Can we do this activity with blends as well? Let's say we have BL, CL, FL. Could we do the same? Yes. So all of the activities that we did in the first section, which you'll have in the handout, you'll be able to also do for the blend. What about this one? Could we do the same for a blend? Yes, so, but this time we need 4 actions, okay? So this time, we have our 4 sounds are, let's go back to the sounds here so we can see them. Og, op, ot, and ox, okay? So this is og, hands on head, og. This is op. Op will be hands on ears, okay? This, wiggle your nose, that will be ot. And ox, we touch your shoulders, okay? Og, op, ot, ox. Let me hear everybody say that. I'm going to unmute everybody, okay? Are you ready? Let's do this together. Og. Op.
Here.
Okay, so I'm going to say a sound. Are you ready? I'm going to mute everyone. It's a bit noisy. People having some chats. Og, og, op, ot, and ox. Okay, are you ready? I will say a sound and I want you to do it. Are you ready? Ot. Ot. Good. Ot was? Wiggle your nose. Good. What about og? Og. Og was? Touch your head. Very good. What about ox? Ox. Ox was? Shoulders. What about op? Op. Ear. Good. So you can do the same activities as we did before, but just changing the sound. It can be with a blend as well. Yes. Okay, great. And now we have the question time here about, do you already use Neopod or some other platforms, and what are the benefits and challenges of using some platforms? So Miss Dominica, yes, are you there?
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Thank you for unmuting your microphone. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Doing good, thank you.
Great. Yes.
Actually, I'm teaching primary 1 right now.
Okay, great.
And since we have this phonics session, and I have never taught phonics before, this is my first time of learning, so I cannot share much. Sorry.
Okay, sure. And what platform is your school using at the moment? Are you using Google Classroom?
Yes, Google Classroom.
Okay.
Yes.
And so with Google Classroom, you can get students to put their work or their body coordination to be able to do that. And also Neopod integrates with Google Classroom, so you can send the link directly through it. So that's something worth investigating. I think it's a great way to make homework interactive, and it's a great way to record the sounds. You can, as I showed you, you can record yourself doing the modeling of the phonics so that students can hear it after class.
All right.
I think it's really useful for them. So thank you so much.
Thank you. I thank you too, sir.
Miss Sari, are you there?
Yes.
Hey, Miss Sari, how are you today?
I'm good.
Great. And where are you? Which city are you in?
Well, I live in Bekasi, but my school is in Jakarta.
Okay. So you're not far from me then. I'm in Alam Sutra at the moment. At our academy.
That's quite far.
Yes. Well, closer than Surabaya, for example.
Oh, wow.
And so what about you? Are you using, which platforms are you using with your students, and what are the challenges?
So my school my school is using the Google Classroom still, but we're not sharing the, well, we have several centers. So we give it back to the centers which how they want to share the children's work, either through the Google Drive or or through the Google Classroom.
Okay.
But right now we are still learning about the quizzes. We just learned about it. We just find out that there's also a platform about quizzes, which is also good. Almost look like Neopod, but I think Neopod is more easier to learn. Though I haven't tried the Neopod yet.
Sure.
So
well,
I
with
still need to learn about it.
quizzes is really good for like a fun game kind of situation.
Yes.
But Neopod, you can, as I said before, you can post directly link Google Images, YouTube. You can put other types of quiz, gap fill, polling. You can get students to submit their work on like the corkboard, so they can put photos up. So it has a lot more functions in there. If you look at it, there are two choices. One is slide and one is activity, and then the activity shows you all the different things you can do. Sorry, what were you saying?
Because my school, they already get the worksheets as a hard copy.
Yep.
So sometimes we have to still to think it over when we give another platform for them to work at home. It will be like an additional worksheet, and we don't want to give the parents more work.
Yeah,
because
definitely.
The parents will then complain and say it's too hard, and they have to assist the children and so on. So we still learn. But as I just saw just now, the Neopod, we can record our voice, which makes it easier for the children to listen to the instruction better than they're reading it.
Definitely.
Because it's hard to make an instruction with 3-letter words for them.
Yes. And Neopod also is you can have it as a live lesson. So instead of just going through PowerPoint, you can put slides through Neopod and use that as your lesson as well. Again, it just means that you have to then not switch between too many things, but I'm sure you can figure it out. It's very, very user-friendly and easy to use. Thank you so much. Who haven't I spoken to today? There's quite a few of you I haven't spoken to. Miss Seriani? Ginting, Miss Seriani? Yes, are you there? Hello. You're looking a bit shocked. Yes. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, sir.
What online platform are you using for teaching at the moment?
Usually we use Zoom meetings, sir.
And what are the problems or the good things about that?
The problem, sometimes the kids doesn't want to join the Zoom, so mommy has to persuade the kids to join the Zoom meeting. That's actually the problem, mostly.
I have to hold them there, yes, to kind of get their attention sometimes, especially if they haven't met you yet in person, which most of you will have new students. There's no connection there yet. So one of the really important things is to not forget to always try to build that relationship. That's going to be number one most important thing. What are some ways to do that? Yes, of course, you can talk about yourself. You can have fun games and activities. You can get students to ask you questions about yourself. If they have that connection with you as their teacher, then maybe that will help them want to join the Zoom meetings. You know, we're kind of trying to do the best as we can. It's not really the best for preschool learning, but hopefully with some ideas today that can help you. So thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Great, thank you. Okay, so let's listen. Let's ask one more person. Miss Rati, are you there? Miss Rati?
Yes, sir.
Hi there. Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good.
Great. And where are you at the moment? Which city?
I'm in the car on the way home.
Okay, great. I wondered why you were moving around a lot, and now it makes sense.
I'm really sorry.
That's okay. So you're in a
because I just went back from the school.
No problem. I thought maybe you were having a bad earthquake or something, but no, you're in a car. That makes sense.
No, yeah, in the car.
Great. So what platform are you using at the moment for teaching?
So at first we use Google Classrooms, but for now, for being 2 weeks, we start to use Zoom meeting. Yes.
Okay. Great. And what are the challenges that you're having with that?
The challenge is actually instead of the connection, yes, sir. We also use the videos. So it sometimes the videos cannot run very well. So we just need to restart it again.
Yep.
Or we can also upload it in the Google Classroom. So actually the parents and the children can watch later, not with us.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea to make the videos and the sound available to parents either through Google Drive or through email or through WhatsApp, whatever way that you're communicating with your parents, so that students can, at very least, review just by watching a video or listening. I think it's quite useful. Fantastic.
Yeah, that's true.
Okay. Yes, of course, there are some challenges, but now it's time for Q&A. So if anybody has a specific question that they would like to ask about phonics particularly, but feel free to ask any question, and if I can answer it for you, I will try. So if you have a question, you can type it in the chat box, or you can raise your hand and we'll ask you to say your question, whichever you're more comfortable with. So please feel free to type a question in there. Okay, here we have a question about how do we teach two-syllable root words, such as yes. Great. How to make it more fun? Well, actually, Miss Eldorfina, thank you for your question. That is something we're looking at mostly next time, but we're probably looking more at sight reading and breaking into syllables. So syllables, I always add some kind of action, of course, so it could be either clapping or tapping or blinking or some kind of action when we're counting out the syllables. Then we look at, if you're also getting into strong and weak syllables, you can kind of do this with your hand of like apple, apple, pencil, pencil. It's not pencil like in Bahasa, but it's pencil. So if you're doing syllables, I also like to bring in the idea of big and small sounds. The other thing, with syllables, chanting and songs are kind of the best way. So apple, apple, where's the apple? Or whatever chant that you're making up. A tongue twister situation can also be a bit fun. And one way to make them memorable, I try to make up a little syllable pattern chant with each student's name. So for example, if I have a student, Lily, 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 and then using what I try to think of a way to use my key vocab and attach it to a student so it helps it be more memorable. So for example, Lily, Lily, Lily likes apples, 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 something like that. Because they will remember something about themselves. A chant, who cares, ultimately? But if it's about somebody in their classroom, a classmate, that also helps them remember their classmates, because at the moment they're not together. So that could be a good way to help them remember each other as well. Yeah, thank you. But more about that next session. Yeah, thank you.
Mr. Todd Cordy?
Yes.
Okay, we have another participants which raised hand.
Yes, Miss
I
Ellie,
think Miss Ellie, yeah?
My school we use Sanskrit for teaching sounds, phonics, but then this semester, this academic year, we decided to only using rainbow book. Okay, so because if we use Sanskrit, in the future we think about when we will learn on site, not online only, but also on site. So we use method no longer classical. Classical is like a teacher leads several students at the same time. We use audio and so on. But in the future, if we will learn on site, we will divide it. The students will be divided into groups. So I was yeah, we still think what should we do to teach rainbow or even sounds in groups. I mean, because their example, my class has 25 students, and they will be divided into 5 groups, and at the same time they will do different activities, and one of the activity will be using the book Rainbow, or maybe of course we'd like to integrate sounds also at the same in the group. So do you have any suggestions or advice, because we're still looking what we should do for this issue, because not only online, also on-site lesson delivering. Okay, that's my question. I hope I have some enlightenment from you. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, thank you, Ms. Ali. So if you're dividing into 5 groups, I would suggest that one might be phonics, and then one might be the book, because the book, like Rainbow, like Super Safari, is contextual. So you have a topic and you have vocabulary. So that's a different approach to teaching phonics. So I would have one group do phonics, one group do book, which is vocabulary basically, and short grammar sentences. And then the other 3 groups, what are they going to do? Do you know?
Yes.
Are you looking for suggestions for those 3 groups as well?
Yeah.
But it's all English, yes? That's what you're trying to do, all English?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then you could have another group do maybe listening practice. So the teacher is doing some speaking and they're responding to the teacher speaking. It could be storytelling in one group. It could be a song or art and craft connected to the topic of the book.
Okay.
So maybe art and craft could be a good idea. Art and craft, phonics, kind of bookwork, vocabulary, storytelling. Yep.
Okay.
And then another one could be music or song.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
So it means like let's see. Because I also teach in English course, and we use that Sounds Great book, and it's really good. I mean, for 10 years, I've been teaching the students. Most of them already in college, some of them. And if we teach children by listening to the natives, I think it's better. I mean, they have great pronunciation, better since they learn from the early childhood. And right now, I can hear them pronounce words perfectly. I mean, they're really good.
Yeah,
I mean, but the problem, because there are different groups will be doing different activities. I still force ourselves to keep listening on natives. I mean, we think about use audio instead of teachers speaking. I mean, because it's still early childhood and they can repeat great if they listen directly from the natives themselves, then listen to teachers. So I think one of the good solution is Neopod. I think it's really good solution, and I just keep wondering if the next session you will teach us how to use Neopod. I mean, how to use this, how to make the program or the the materials put into the Neopod, or how? Is it YouTube or
yeah, Neopod is really, really easy to use, but perhaps next time for the next session, if I'll put in 2 or 3 minutes just as a basic introduction, but it is super simple to use. But I can definitely show you how to start one, or just a brief tour, like 2 or 3 minutes would be great. And what you're saying before is that, yes, if you're having the different groups, one group using Rainbow or 2 groups using Rainbow, but that other group that's still using phonics, especially when they're being introduced to that sound. The Sounds Great has the CD, so it's quite easy to use that. But English is spoken by millions of people around the world with all different accents. So don't be too hard on yourself thinking that they only learn from a native speaker accent with an accent. But that means also you can suggest videos to parents with storytelling that have a native speaker. You can suggest phonics videos that they can watch which have a native speaker. So technology can really help us with bringing the native speaker into the classroom. So yeah, and maybe Neopod is a way to do that. It's controlled, or sending a link through email or WhatsApp to the parents.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Miss Ellie.
Yeah,
Mr. Todd,
yes.
there is a question from Miss Winnie.
Yes.
So she asks, Mr. Todd, sir, can you please give some action ideas that enable students to move their bodies a lot during in phonics class?
Yes. So remember when we were acting out the vocabulary, and I was just doing it with my hands and my face, like cat, apple, bird. Of course, I'm doing it because I'm close to the screen, but I could get back a long way and, you know, be doing a bird, be doing the letter O, P. So you can get them really standing up and standing back away from the camera and just make the actions that I did bigger. Remember before we did a, b, a, b, k. You can make those actions much bigger. Okay, so it's A, you know, stand up, touch the sky, B, okay, stretch out this way. So all of the actions that I did, you can get in kinesthetic writing, in the air, making the letters with their body, really anything that makes them look at or make or write the letter as they're hearing or saying the sound is good phonics practice. You can get them to go around their house and find an object that starts with that letter. You can get them to hold up colored pencils and fingers and numbers, as we said before. Just get them to stand back away from the camera and do the actions just much bigger would be my my suggestion. So thank you. And also videos. If the videos have people dancing in the videos, get them up dancing as well. Record yourself if you can't find a video that you like. You could get your, record your kids singing the song perhaps, and students could follow that as well. Now somebody has here, Andy, about how do you differentiate the sound of the letter A and U. In the chat box there, thank you. I think that the long vowels are easy, yes? A, E, I, O, U. That's not the problem. It's the short vowels, yes? So A is A, and U is like umpire, us. The short U also sometimes has a different form, but we like up, So you can repeat after me, and A. A is much more open mouth. Is a long mouth. O for O is forward. A. E is teeth and wide. So if students are having trouble with it, I look at the shape of my face. You can also again see YouTube videos very close up of people making that sound, but A and the only difference is the mouth shape with vowels. E, It's all about where you put your mouth. Does that make sense, Miss Andy? So is, and is a long, like a zero, and O is circle. Great, thank you. Okay, I think maybe we have time for one more question.
Yes, sir.
Do we have time? Or we have...
Yeah, we have time for one question only, yes.
Great.
So for everyone who want to ask Mr. Todd by using raise hand or via chat box, you can ask for one question only, I guess. Okay, there is Miss Kasmira Saleh. What about C and K, sir?
Yes. C and K together all make a k sound, which is a bit silly of English, because why do we have two letters that make the same sound? It's confusing. So we have to, how I tell my students is, well, K is always k. It's always the same sound, but sometimes C is a bit silly. Sometimes it wants to be an S, sometimes it wants to be a sk.